Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Battle video. In this video we are going to be taking a look at Tora. So Tora is basically one of the general banner units I never really got to cover because I never got him. And we're going to take a look at how good he is at 55%. Now Tora was predominantly designed to facilitate the tech Bardock. So you'll see he raises the allies attack on his super. He also has quite a few abilities that are dependent on not only having low class warriors but also having Bardock in his rotation. So for every team Bardock member he gains 10% damage reduction, 10% evasion and 10% crit chance. He also gains attack and defense at 20% per storied figure on the team up to 100%. And he provides a additional flat 30% buff to storied figured units, whilst also providing an additional 30% buff if there's a team or there's a Bardock in the rotation. Saiyan Warrior Race and Lineage called Judgment, Team Bardock, Saiyan Pride, Prepared for Battle, and Fierce Battle are his links. Now, as a unit overall, his big mechanic was to be a facilitator for tech Bardock. So at 55%, he's kind of one of those units, and this tends to happen with general banner units. When the general banner unit is kind of given too much to do, so Tora was kind of given a lot. You know, he was given damage reduction, he was given crit, he was given 60% support, he's given evasion, he's given the ability to raise his attack and defense multiplicatively on his super. He does a lot. So the thing is when you get a unit like Tora that tends to do a lot, they make the stats very low. So what tends to happen is at 55%, Tora doesn't look too amazing. Now he's not bad at all. 3 million attack stats, but remember he's got a flat 30% damage reduction. So he's not bad in a sense that he doesn't have a lot going on. It's just that with such low stats, 30% damage reduction is kind of on that threshold of not being enough for him to be a first slot tank. Now he's also got 30% evasion, but 30% evasion is also not really enough to be a first slot tank. So he kind of sits in this position whereby you need dupes in him to raise that little defense that he has to the point where the 30% evasion and the 30% damage reduction can kick in and be pretty reliable. Now after super, his defense is pretty solid. He gains attack and defense on super. He also is a 60% support, so I can't really fault him on that. He also has the added benefit of boosting allies' attack off of his super as well. So you get the added benefit not only of him boosting the rest of the rotation quite substantially, he's a 60% support for units like Bardock, but he also has the ability to obviously boost the rest of the rotation's offense as well. So there is a lot of utility he provides, and I think he's really good in that aspect. The big thing is he's predominantly designed to help carry Bardock's team, and Bardock's team is heavily reliant on all three of its key units having dupes. So for example, Tech Bardock is a great unit but he needs dupes. Fasha is a great unit but she needs dupes. And Tora is a great unit but he needs dupes. So the more you get in this guy, the better he's going to look, because those lower thresholds, that 30% evasion, that 30% damage reduction, can really start to kind of take effect, and you can really start to feel them get a lot better off. For example, with full range of dupes, you could give him another 30% evasion from the hidden potential system. This, in theory, would give him two separate chances of 30% evasion, which means in theory he would have around about a 48% chance of evasion, which is not too bad. Not only that, but his defensive stat would rise quite substantially. His starter turn defense would be much closer to the 250k mark, which means his after super defense would be around the 420k mark, which means his flat 30% damage reduction starts to look really good. You also factor in the fact that he has a pretty solid link set, which scales pretty nicely with link leveling. Saiyan Pride is a great attack link, Team Bardock is just a great overall link, and so he's got a pretty solid foundation there. The one big, crucial, fundamental thing he doesn't get is Cold Judgment. So Cold Judgment is a link that's just very difficult for him to get, on any of his teams, it's not a priority link that you're able to realistically get quite often. Storied figures, I think Tapion and Minotia and Tapion units are the units that you can closest get him to have a core judgment with. But remember, he augments his support capabilities so much by having a Bardock in the rotation. I see this guy best as a floater, and I think overall he serves that purpose really, really well. So I actually think he should be a floating unit. I think he's exceptional in that sense, and if you have a Bardock on at least one rotation or on both rotations, then you can really start to look at, okay, now, I'm really starting to get that really awesome support that he can provide. So really good stuff there, personally for me. And yeah, obviously we'll have to take a look at him when we get more dupes, but I think at 55% he's not bad. He doesn't have a lot of purpose outside of the Team Bardock or Storied Figures team, unfortunately. So he's a little bit limited, as most Bardock units are outside of Bardock. That's going to be it from me. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you next time. Bye.